All right, everybody, it's back. Return of the Beast. Boost! So this is Beast Modes Volume 2. And if your fragrances aren't clearing out corners, hijacking conversations, or lingering on coats long after you've left, we're about to change that. Today we're going to be reviewing another 8 Beast Mode fragrances. This place is going to smell atomic by the time I'm done, and at the end I'm going to give you my 2 cents on all 8 fragrances, so let's get started. All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Once again, my name is Sean. This is my 2 cents. If you're a new viewer, welcome. And if you've seen our videos before, then welcome back. Before we get started, I do want to say if you are a fan of fast-paced fragrance reviews and you are not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. The algorithm really likes it when you do that, and so do I. So today we're going to dive into 8 of the loudest fragrances that I have in my collection. These are not subtle, they don't ask for permission, they just barge in, take up space, and they don't ask for forgiveness afterward. I'm going to let you know what each of these smells like on the skin, what notes anchor them, and what qualifies them as a Beast Mode fragrance. Strap in. This is going to be a ranked list, and we are going from 8 to 1. The 8th fragrance in the lineup is from the house of Raja Parfum, and this is a fragrance called United Arab Emirates. So if you're not familiar with the house of Raja Parfum, they do not do quiet luxury. They do opulence, they do extravagance, and they do unapologetic power. All right, so this fragrance opens up with Artemisia and Bergamot. It starts out very sharp, very exotic, very dark, and then it hits you with a bunch of florals right after that. You've got rose, jasmine, ylang ylang, blackcurrant bud, and that's going to be layered with clove. That's going to give you a slightly fruity spice depth. But in the base, that is this beast's toolkit. You've got oud, you've got guaiac wood, you've got cypriol, patchouli, oak moss, benzoin, labdanum, incense, musk, and subtle animalic tones. And I think it says subtle animalic tones online, but maybe their definition of the word subtle and mine are 2 totally different things. The base of this fragrance is not light at all. This is heavy, resinous, smoky, and leather touched. On the skin, this fragrance reads like rich leather furniture on a private jet. There's incense in the air, there's some spices being projected, and also what's being projected is this feeling of money, power, and opulence. Because of those heavy woods, the resins, the oud, and that musk base, the Beast Mode projectivity and the longevity are already baked in. This is one of those fragrances that you're going to smell in your scarf days, even weeks later, and people will still be able to smell it. So you're going to have to wear this fragrance a second time the next time you put that scarf on. This is a fragrance that is made with high molecular weight materials. You got the oud, you got the resins, you've got the animalics. As a result, this is going to have strong projection, persistent trail. It is going to diffuse massively, and it is completely going to linger. I feel like this is one of the standout fragrances in Raja's lineup, and I feel like this is one of those fragrances that really you can justify the price of. So if you want to smell like success, danger, and desert nights, this is a fragrance for you. This is fantastic. Give United Arab Emirates a try. This is number 8 on the Beast Mode fragrances, and the whole apartment smells like it right now, so I can't wait to spray the other 7. All right, I gave the room a few seconds to clear out, and we are ready for number 7 in the Beast Modes lineup. Number 7 comes to us from the house of Memo, and the fragrance that I chose for the Beast Modes lineup is Iberian Leather. If you don't know anything about the house of Memo, real quick, it was founded by John and Clara Malloy, and each one of their fragrances is inspired by a specific travel. There is an entire selection of leather fragrances in their lineup. They call it their Queer Nomad collection. I have several of them in the cabinet behind me, but the one for the Beast Modes list is 100% Iberian Leather. This fragrance is a punch in the nose in the best way possible. Everybody's going to smell it, everybody's going to wonder what you're wearing, and it doesn't smell like anything else. So this fragrance is a deep dive into leather, spice, herbs, and wood. This is going to start out herbal and fresh. You've got geranium, you've got rosemary, coriander, and bergamot. It's going to give it sort of an airy, almost Mediterranean feel, but that shifts real quickly. In the middle, it really shifts. You've got jasmine, you've got iris, osmanthus, saffron, cinnamon. It gives it an aromatic, smoky, floral leather vibe. And it doesn't get any softer or easier in the base. In the base of this fragrance, you've got leather, you've got patchouli, you've got oud, you've got vetiver, oak moss, cedar, sandalwood, amber, vanilla, and balsam. These are all heavy, resinous, smoky leather scents. All of these are notes which stack up and give you something extremely dense. This is a very strong fragrance. On the skin, think of sun-warmed leather, think of dust, think of spice markets, but really refined, complex, and elegant. Because of that very layered base of oud and resins and woods and spices, this is going to project very well, and it's going to create a scent bubble around you, which is not going to fade quickly. A lot of owners of this online will say that this is one of the strongest leathers in Memo's collection, and I completely agree. The projection here is definitely stronger than the other ones in my collection and the other ones that I've smelled. The dry down here is going to linger and evolve for hours. This fragrance has a tremendous backbone. You've got leathers, you've got oud, you've got woods, you've got patchouli, you've got resins. All of this is going to create very strong projection and a very dense dry down that you're going to be very happy with if you want something that everybody's going to smell. So if you're looking for a leather fragrance that is going to wear you and not the other way around, get your hands on Iberian leather. So that is why this is number 7 in the lineup of Beast Mode fragrances. This is Iberian Leather by Memo. Check it out. All right, we're on to number 6. It's a nice combination I've got going on here. Number 6 in the lineup is from the House of Nasamato, and you can probably guess which one I'm referring to. Number 6 on the Beast Modes list from the House of Nasamato is Black Afgano. So Nasamato is a house that is run by a man named Alessandro Gualtieri. Gualtieri is basically a rebel in the niche perfume industry. He does not give you the notes of the fragrance. I kind of like that and I kind of don't. I really want to know what I'm smelling, but what he's really doing is he's giving you an opportunity to take the journey yourself and figure out what you're smelling along the way. That said, we do have the help of some folks on Fragrantica that have itemized what they think they smell in this. Black Afgano has become the most popular fragrance in the lineup. This has become sort of a cult classic. It's a dark, dangerous kind of scent. The profile here is resinous, woody, herbal, and smoky. There are cannabis and green notes, at least that's the vibe it gives off. And online they also mention resin, they mention incense, tobacco, coffee, oud, wood, amber, and animalics. This fragrance reads like a secret lounge at 3 a.m. It's dark, it's dimly lit, there are people whispering in the corners. That's what I get from this fragrance. There's incense, there's smoke, there's wood, but then you've got those coffee and tobacco notes that really even deepen the darkness. The woods and the oud give it weight, and then those resins and animalic notes hold it together for hours. Because this formula is so heavy with oud, resins, incense, and woods, this is going to eat the space around you. The projection here is strong, it's persistent, it's going to cling to your clothes, and it is going to leave an incredible trail behind you. Many people online say that this fragrance lasts forever, and it is not for the faint of heart. I don't think this is a difficult fragrance to wear. Don't be misled. I think if you're looking for a fragrance that's going to be very strong, but has a very pleasant odor that's not over the top animalic, not over the top oudy, this is a great fragrance for you. Gualtieri has just done something here to make this fragrance super, super, super strong. The oud, the incense, the resins, the smokiness, and that really dense base are going to make this a beast that's going to last forever. It's going to give it strong diffusion and a long-lasting, powerful sillage. So if you're looking for that secret meeting in the middle of the night, 3 a.m., cannabis-y, oudy, animalic kind of vibe, this is going to be the fragrance for you. So if you don't know this fragrance, check out number 6 in the lineup. This is Nasamato's Black Afgano. Great fragrance. All right, moving right along, we have come to number 5 in the lineup, and this comes from the house of Orto Parisi. Number 5 is called Quoyam by Orto Parisi. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the house of Orto Parisi, this fragrance was done by the exact same perfumer as the last one I showed you, Black Afgano. Nasamato and Orto Parisi are sister houses, both done by the same perfumer. So you can sort of think of Orto Parisi as basically the dirtier, more experimental brother of Nasamato. So Quoyam means leather, and this is one of the best leather fragrances out there. So if you don't know this fragrance and you're into leather, this is a good one for you to try. All right, so as far as leather fragrances go, Quoyam is a completely different animal. This is a raw, smoky leather that's almost slightly feral. This is an old, worked, maybe untreated leather. So our friends over at Fragrantica, who have listed the notes for us, say that this has a very animalic and woody top. I would agree with them. Then they list, you've got violet, you've got leather, incense, cade, cedar, labdanum, patchouli, and vanilla. So on the skin, this one is going to be warm, slightly sweaty, and leathery. Think of a leather jacket that's been used and used and used. Think of maybe like a rock band leather jacket that's been on tours, it's been on road trips. The violet in this only acts to give you a subtle softness. Then the smoke, the resin, the patchouli, and the woods give this sort of a smoky, earthy leather trail that's as wearable as it is gritty, if you like that sort of vibe. Because the base in this is rich in leather, incense, patchouli, cade, and wood, this is going to be a very dense, sticky fragrance. So Kauaium is definitely one of those fragrances that's going to cling, it's going to project, and it's going to last. This is not one of those airy, soft luxury type of fragrances. This is raw presence. This is going to be a sticky, persistent, projecting scent cloud of leather. It is not polite. This one is going to command attention in the room. This is one of those fragrances that you can wear when you're not trying to be liked. You're just trying to be remembered. That's why it takes place number 5 on my list of Beast Mode Fragrances, Volume 2. This is Kauaium by Orto Parisi. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go smell it. This is a fantastic fragrance, and it's also the only one of the Orto Parisi fragrances that comes with its own clothing. All right, we're moving on to the top 4. Number 4 in the lineup is from the House of Amouage. And I know I already included Amouage on the last Beast Modes list, but this one definitely takes a place here. The number 4 fragrance in the lineup is going to be Interlude Man by Amouage. So if you're not familiar with the House of Amouage, they're an Omani-based company that builds incense-heavy, complex scents which are built like architecture. This fragrance right here, there are 3 versions of it. I went with the original, and they call this the Blue Beast. If a fragrance is called the Blue Beast, how do I leave it off the list? So I have to say, I slept on this fragrance for quite a while. As you can see behind me, I have quite a few Amouage fragrances, but I didn't buy Interlude Man until very recently. This is one of Amouage's signature monsters. This fragrance opens up with herbal spicy notes, think pepper, oregano, bergamot, but then it quickly shifts into a thick resin and incense heart. You've got amber, opoponix, labdanum, and frankincense. Then this is going to dry down into a base of smoky oud, leather, patchouli, and sandalwood. On the skin, this one feels just like a sacred ritual. Think of burning resins, think of dark woods, think ancient scrolls and firelight. Interlude Man is dramatic, smoky, and spiritual. It is heavy on mood and heavy on presence. Because the incense, the oud, the resins, and the rich woods are all dominant here, this fragrance is going to project like a beast. This fragrance is going to build a cloud, it's going to linger for hours, and then it's going to resurface long after the initial wear. It is not a subtle fragrance, it's very powerful, and many owners say that it lasts long into the night. There's a thick, long-lasting, powerful diffusion here that's going to give you amazing sillage and longevity. I have to say, I am familiar with the other 2 fragrances in the Interlude lineup. All 3 of them are fantastic. If you want an incense-heavy fragrance, it's going to be a beast, and everyone around you is going to smell you coming and going. This is the fragrance for you. Don't forget the Blue Beast. Check it out. This is number 4 on my Beast Modes Volume 2. This is Interlude Man by Amouage. All right, moving on to the top 3. This one is going to be from the House of Montal. And I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, why doesn't he just put black oud on there? That's super, super, super strong. Well, I got one better for you. Number 3 on the list is going to be Intense Black Oud by the House of Montal. So if you're familiar with the House of Montal, specifically Black Oud, you know that that fragrance already is a Beast Mode fragrance. This one takes the cake though. This is even stronger. So Pierre Montal has built his legacy on powerful oud-heavy fragrances, and this one right here leans right into that. So what you've got here is you've got oud, you've got rose, you've got labdanum, you've got patchouli, musk, woods, resins. On the first spray of this, you get a rich rose wrapped up in a very, very heavy oud, which you've come to expect from the House of Montal. Right out of the bottle, this has a very strong gothic vibe. As it starts to dry down, you've got that labdanum and patchouli giving it a resinous woodiness, and then the musk really deepens the base. The overall effect here is a dense, woody, rose oud wall of scent. And when I say wall, I mean a very thick wall. Because of that heavy oud, the resins, the woods, and that musk base, this one is going to project very hard, and it is going to have serious longevity. This is going to be one of those fragrances that is going to have a persistent trail after you as you walk through the room, as you go up an escalator. This is not a fragrance that you want to wear if you're trying to whisper. This is what you wear when you're trying to make a statement. So I have to say, I do own both of these fragrances. I have the original Black Oud and I have Intense Black Oud. I almost got this one sort of as a joke. The original Black Oud, I'm almost finished with my bottle of it. I do wear it frequently. I love the way it smells. It's oud and rose done right. It is one of the most classic fragrances from the Montal lineup. Then I saw this one at Harrods in London, and I was like, okay, so this is a stronger version of Black Oud. Add to cart. I don't wear this one as frequently. This is one of those fragrances that I wear when I want to be obnoxious. If I want to stand out and I want people to ask me what I'm wearing and I want a very, very strong fragrance, this is one of the ones that I will go for. Actually, I'm not sure why I didn't put this on the original list, but anyway, so if you're looking for an elegant, classic oud rose fragrance, this is not the one for you. This is a very heavy punch in the nose, and that's why number 3 on the list from the House of Montal is Intense Black Oud. Check it out if you don't know it. All right, we're up to number 2 in the list. I got a lot of flack from you folks on the last list because I didn't include this. On my last list, I included Hindu Kush from the House of Mansera, and several of you wrote back and said, where is Red Tobacco? Well, guess what? Here it is. Number 2 on the list of Beast Modes Volume 2 is Red Tobacco by Mansera. All right, so yes, I did respond to it and I did mention it in the last video. I said this one also is a beast, but I felt Hindu Kush just needed a little bit more attention because that one I really can spray just one spray on and it fills up the entire room. But let's talk about Red Tobacco. So this is one of those fragrances that I didn't like upon the first time that I smelled it. I had to put it on my skin, wear it throughout the day, and then suddenly you fall in love with what this fragrance does for you. So this fragrance is going to open up with heavy spices. You've got cinnamon, you've got saffron, incense, and nutmeg. In the middle, you've got like an apple note, a pear brightness, tobacco, amber, patchouli, sandalwood, vanilla, musk, and oud. On the skin, the vibe that this one gives me is a dimly lit cigar lounge in the middle of the winter. So you've got warm wood, you've got smoke, you've got spices, and you have sort of a sweet undercurrent to it all. So this is definitely one of those fragrances that you want to be careful when you spray it. You don't want to overspray it. The Mansera fragrances are really the kings of oversprays. You can definitely overspray a Mansera fragrance. I have 6 in my collection, and each one of those I only need to spray once or twice. But this particular beast is so strong because it has a vigorous use of spices. Then you got that musk, that amber, that tobacco. This is something that sprays and stays. The whole combination creates a dense, sweet, smoky cloud that just lingers. Some reviewers online say it's room filling, others will say it's nuclear. This definitely is going to last and everybody's going to smell it around you. I do want to say it is a pleasant smelling fragrance. If you're not familiar with it, this isn't something that's going to push people away. It is strong yet pleasant at the same time. There's nothing that's going to be offensive that's going to cause somebody to recoil. I do want to disclose that there is an intense version of Red Tobacco as well. As strong as this one is, just like Black Oud, which I just reviewed, there is a stronger version called Intense Red Tobacco. Just like the Black Oud, I bought that one as well. Unfortunately, if you are familiar with that fragrance, I did have a larger bottle of it and I took it on a trip to London with me. You can see where this is going. I had to check my baggage when I got back to New York and my baggage came down the conveyor belt to the carousel. All I could smell was Intense Red Tobacco. The bottle had broken inside my suitcase and had gotten all over absolutely everything. When I tell you I had to throw things out because they couldn't wash the scent out, I'm not kidding. That suitcase stayed open and aired out for weeks before it was finally tolerable for me to smell it. That said, because I had smelled it so strong in the suitcase, I haven't touched this for quite a while, but it does deserve a place on the list. That's why Red Tobacco by Mansera is number 2 on Beast Modes Volume 2. All right, we've made it all the way to fragrance number 1. This one comes directly from you, the audience. From the last video, I did say I want to know what other Beast Mode fragrances I'm missing. Aside from Red Tobacco, which I already knew, the one that kept coming up was the same fragrance over and over again, and I have to disclose that I was unfamiliar with the fragrance. So I had to go check it out to see what y'all had to say. The number 1 fragrance on the list is followed by Kerosene. So if you're unfamiliar with the brand Kerosene, this is an indie company whose fragrances are unfiltered and honest. This is actually my second fragrance from the house. The first fragrance I had from years ago, it is discontinued. It was a fragrance called Creature. Kerosene, if you're watching, you really need to bring this fragrance back. This is one of the most unique fragrances that I had in my collection. There's only a little bit left and I want to preserve it so that I can still smell it. So as you can see, the bottles have changed, but they still have that plaque on the front with the logo and the name of the fragrance. So I didn't know what to expect from Followed. This is a heavy-hitting gourmand which wears like a warm roasted dessert but with projection. So I got my bottle at Scent Bar in New York. When I got to the store, they said to me, this is the only fragrance that they refuse to spray inside the store. Well, that tells you a lot. So I had to take it and spray it and smell it outside. But here we go. I'm going to spray it in my apartment right now and it's going to smell like this fragrance for the next 6 days at least. So what you've got here right out of the bottle, it was unexpected to me. You've got dark roasted coffee with caramelized sugar, maple, vanilla for sweetness, but then you've got amber, wood, and musk backing the whole thing up. This is a sweet, warm, slightly smoky, completely edible cloud around you. When I first saw the notes, I think I was most afraid that this was going to be a very, very sweet gourmand fragrance. The strongest note in here is 100% the coffee. You don't really get that warm brown sugar or that maple note until the very, 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 very end of the dry down. I don't want to say this really smells like a bakery because it doesn't. You do have sweet notes in here, but this is overwhelmingly a coffee scent. Because the base notes here are so heavy, you've got the amber, the woods, and the musk, and the top is so aromatic. Think the coffee, think vanilla, think warm sugar. Followed sort of behaves more like a classic beast mode fragrance than a gourmand. The sweetness here doesn't kill the projection at all, actually it amplifies it. This fragrance has a dense gourmand base with an aromatic roasted top. This is going to last forever, I kid you not. When I leave here in the morning and I've sprayed it on myself, coming back to the apartment later that night, I can still smell Followed on the air. But I have to say, that's why I love reading the comments and interacting with everybody, because I couldn't understand why this fragrance kept coming up in beast mode fragrances, and I knew nothing about it. So for everybody who made suggestions, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for that. And for those of you who suggested Followed, you're responsible for this. But that said, if you're looking for a fragrance that's a little bit more accessible, the price point here is not astronomical. This bottle here was $165. And if you're looking for something that's going to last, you will never use the entire bottle here. That said, go give Followed a try. This is Followed by Kerosene. This fragrance is aromatic and far too persistent than it has any right to be. That's why the #1 fragrance on the Beast Modes Volume 2 is Followed by Kerosene. If you don't know it, check it out. All right, that's it. We've completed the list. What did I leave out? If there's anything that you think I have to smell, definitely write me a comment. I loved reading the comments from the last one. I'll go to the store, I'll try it out, or I might just blind buy it. Who knows? But I definitely, Followed was a great addition to the collection. This is not something that I'm going to wear every day, but I love having it because you are absolutely right. This one is a killer beast of a fragrance. I think we curated a good list. We've got 8 fragrances that all are different types of fragrances. We go all the way from leather, we go to oud rose, we go all the way to a gourmand type fragrance. So if you have any questions about these fragrances, definitely leave me a comment. I have been responding to all the comments, even the nasty ones. That said, if you liked this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. And if you didn't like it, you could also give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that as well. Thanks for watching. That was my 2 cents. That was Beast Modes Volume 2. My name is Sean. I hope to see you next episode. Have a great day, everyone.